Hello, my name is Edith Johansson, and in my 117 years of cooking, I have only trusted Betty Crocker. I've always said
Betty Crocker, bake someone happy.
Action.
Hello, welcome back to our cooking show. Today we are making a cake.
So to start, we mix all of our dry ingredients in one bowl, and we have 2½ cups of flour, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. So we're going to mix that together with our whisk. And in our mixture we have baking powder, which is a starch, and starches are needed in cakes to keep it moist because there's a process that starches, when they are cooked, they absorb the water and the granules swell and they keep the water in and they keep the cake nice and moist. And it's a homogeneous mixture because, as you can see, it's all one color. And starches are one of the natural forms of polymers, which are substances that are macromolecules consisting of many similar small molecules linked together in long chains.
Yep, and in this bowl right here, we have 2 sticks of unsalted butter and 1½ cup of sugar. And what we're going to do is whisk it until the mixture is light and fluffy. And then we're going to add 2 whole eggs, one at a time, and also 3 egg yolks. And we are going to do that right now.
You can do like a fork to get the butter out here. We'll turn it off first.
And the butter's sticking to the thing. This is also another physical change because we're just mixing 2 ingredients together without changing the chemical composition. And what I'm doing right now is just getting the butter out of the whisk so that it blends in more with the sugar.
Yeah.
Step faster.
Yeah. I think that's light and fluffy enough.
I would say so.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, so now we're going to add in
1 egg at a time.
Yeah.
And on low. The mixture's on like the mixture.
So we're going to add this egg to our mix.
Wait, put it on low. Like turn it on.
Oh.
I'll do that one.
And there's our second egg.
So you do this. I'll measure this while you do that.
And I am going to separate the 3 eggs into yolk and egg white. do that, you just keep switching the egg yolk from one side to another. And if you see that little gooey stuff, it's kind of dripping down. And that is separating egg yolk from egg white. And we will be saving the egg white for our frosting later.
And in our cake mixture, we have 2 proteins, milk and eggs. And to be a complete protein, they have to contain 9 of the essential amino acids that the body can absorb other than through food. So that's why they're called complete proteins.
And here's the second one that Rebecca will add.
And amino acids are a type of hydrocarbon.
And there's the third one. I'm gonna wash my hands. And I'll just
We have to add in these and these
Okay.
ultimately.
How much is that?
We have 1 cup of buttermilk, which is also a protein. So we have to add them in ultimately. So we're gonna add the flour in,
Sure.
like as I'm doing this.
Hold it.
Yeah.
So now we have added all of our ingredients. And we're just gonna let it mix and blend really well. And also, all the ingredients we have is demonstrating balancing equations, because in chemistry we balance equations by having certain amounts of reactants yielding certain amounts of products, such as 1 mole of hydrogen gas plus 1 mole of oxygen gas will yield 1 mole of water, which is H2O. And in cooking and baking, certain amounts of ingredients will yield you certain amounts of food. And in this case, this much of batter we have will and should form 2 cakes. And we're just gonna let it mix a little bit more while we butter the pans. So we have yet another stick of unsalted butter.
This is good.
Yes.
Alright.
And we're just gonna use the paper towel method. You just grab some butter and wipe it.
Make sure you get the sides too.
By doing this, the cake shouldn't stick onto the pan. And also, we are using metal pans right now, and this relates to what kind of cookware we should use. And there are 2 types of cake pans. There are metal kinds, like the ones we are using right now, and there are glass pans, which we are not using. And the difference between them is that glass pans heat up slower, so it takes longer for the cake to cook, while metal pans, they heat up faster and therefore should allow our cake to be done faster. Choosing cookware is very important, because if you are baking cookies or brownies, you might want to look for a metal that is less shiny, because the shinier the metal, the more heat it will absorb in a shorter amount of time. So the bottom of the brownie or the cookie might be burnt before you realize it. I think mine's done. Okay.
Mine has too much butter on it. It's not a bad thing. Okay, so now we're just going to divide the batter between the two pans. Make sure you get
Should we whisk it a little bit more?
Yeah, just to get the extra. Do you want to just do like a regular? Yeah.
Okay, so now I am just going to whisk it a little bit more because we just had excess ingredients on the side that we want to make sure are mixed in. And that should be good. So what we're gonna do now is split the batter evenly between the two pans.
I'm just going to put a little bit of each first to make sure that we fill both pans at least somewhat.
Is it just one?
What?
Is the rest one?
No. Choose a spatula. Sticking to the spoon.
So when we divide the batter evenly, the mass that these batters have in this pan should be the same mass as the cake when it comes out of the oven. And this is due to the definition of the law of conservation of matter and mass. We can eat this later. I think that's good.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to put them in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. And then we'll be back to show you us
The
decorating
results. Yep, the results.
You guys, this is a beautiful cake. I absolutely love it. It's so artistic.
Thank you. This is what we would call something art in the cooking world, because in the science world, art is when you have precise measurements of certain ingredients. But in the cooking world, art is how you present the cake to a person. So in this case, we're presenting this cake to you, and since it appeals to you, it makes it art.
It's cool. There's no edges.
Yeah.
Which makes it aesthetically pleasing to your father, apparently.
Yes, it does. It's very soft.
Hopefully it tastes good.
Yeah.
And that concludes our chemistry project.
So, yeah.
I like the pink. Sophie, that's one of your favorite colors,
Thanks.
right?
Yeah, and it's my letter,
Yep.
S,
Being an S.
which is very
So-
personalized.
Okay.
Can we light it up?